What's going on? It's day 4 out of 100, and I am so late. I had to work tonight, and today was kind of busy here at the house before I went to work, and so I didn't get a chance to pick you guys up at all today, and I do apologize. So what I think I will do, I'm going to try to connect one of the Married to Ghana pieces of footage that I have and just add that to this intro and upload that so that I can have something for you all to check out. That way I can be finishing up that series, at the wedding series and like the first trip to Ghana series, portion of everything, and still have a actual upload for you guys. Because like I said, the goal is to be consistent. I want to give a big thank you to all of the new Sugar Boos, to all of the new Rainbow Coalition. I am so appreciative of you all. I am so grateful that you take the time out of your busy schedule to watch anything that your girl Rain puts out there. And I hope you stick and stay because we have so much more coming your way. Your girl is going to be taking you guys with me every step of the way. God is opening some doors that I can't really talk about at this moment. But I believe that they are going to be wonderful and great. So yeah, I'll add the clips here. But before I do, listen, I don't want to pressure you now, but I know that so many of you all are watching without subscribing. But why for come? Like, don't you love it here? Like, don't you want to be a part of the Rainbow Coalition? Like, aren't you happy to be a Sugar Boo? Because I love you, right? And I'm just so happy to have you guys here. And I do everything for the love of you and to glorify God, right? So we're a family. We're growing together, right? I'll do what I do for you, right? I'm trying to create quality content for you, right? I want to share life and faith and hustle with you. I want to share the word of God with you. I want to share encouragement and, all of those things with you. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post. Share, comment. I love to read your comments. I try to answer them all back within a certain amount of time. And I want you to listen. Tell me some things that you would like for me to take you to. Like, do you want to see some historical landmarks here in Texas? Of course, I know you all like the Ghana vlogs and stuff like that. Do you want to see me take you to other travel places? Because you know your girl is a travel content creator, as well as all of those other good juicy things, right? Do you want to see me cook some things? What would you like to see me do? Like, we're in this thing together, right? So let me know what you like. Do you like the longer vlogs? Do you like the shorter, sweeter vlogs? Like, kind of like what I've been trying to do, doing this 100-day challenge, right? Hey, keep me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, if I miss something, y'all be like, hey, yo, Rain, where that vlog at? You know what I'm saying? Holla at your girl. So yeah, I love y'all. Let's check out this clip. Hey y'all, what's going on? You know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl Rain. Check if people listen. So excuse me, I wanted to see how you all are and how you all are enjoying the new Married to Ghana series. Sorry y'all, my lips are so dry today. This series has been one of the best series to create for you all. not just because I'm in a different country or a different atmosphere, but it's just been a different place that I'm in within myself, within my spirit, within my faith, within my life. So the peace and the joy and the contentment that I have, even before leaving America, the way God was moving me and changing me and transitioning me, made creating this series different. So I wanted to start off by thanking all of my 183 family members, Rainbow Coalition, Rainies. Hello to all of my new babies, my new lovelies, my new Rainies. I love you all like a fat kid love cake, and your girl Rain loves all the cake with buttercream icing on it. Say you did. I could not be who I am without each and every single last one of y'all. I want to thank all of my Instagram babies, all of my Facebook babies, all of my TikTok babies, all of my international babies. Thank you for all of your comments. I do try my best to read every single last comment. I don't get to them as fast as I want to, but I do try to make sure that I read your comments. And I am so grateful to have you all here with me, with us, because now this page is not just about me. This series is not just about Rain. It's about you. It's about the diaspora. It's about Bright. Excuse me. It's still about, budgeting and life and faith and intercultural relationships, intercultural marriages. It's about all things Reign of Truth, right? So yeah, this particular series is going to be here for a while, but I'm still going to soon separate the two. Well, I want to make it like a different playlist, but I think I want to just give Married to Ghana its own world, and then I'm going to also continue with getting back into doing the interviews, getting back into doing the entrepreneur business part of who your girl Rain is, because I'm a Godpreneur, period. I'm all about the God, period. And also, ministry is going to have its own space here on YouTube. So YouTube is my home. If you are on my other social media platforms, you might see me a little bit more on TikTok as well. You might see me a little bit on Instagram. You will kind of only see me on Facebook just to say hello to my family and let my family know what's going on when I'm here in Ghana. But Ghana is home. But so is Texas and Louisiana will always be home. So I am going to be a dual citizen. I'm going to be a bi-coastal babe, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so my time here in Ghana is winding up. I need to go home to the States and handle some business and get businesses started and get paperwork done and things of that nature. Big things are coming up, so keep your eyes posted to the channel. Stay tuned so you don't miss anything. Big things are coming. Big surprises are coming. And of course, you get to be front row seat. You get to be in the know before anybody else. We are trying to grow the channel so that we can be able to bring you better, more and intense and more exciting footage. So we are trying to get our first 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get monetized, basically. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're trying to get our first 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and we're trying to get our watch time up. So please, you all, please, if you're seeing my face for the very first time, I am Rain the Truth. I'm the female Lazarus. I'm the Talitha Kumi of 2021. I'm your sister, your auntie, and your cousin. I love with every fiber of my being. On my channel, I talk about intercultural relationships, intercultural marriage, intercultural living. I talk about being part of the diaspora. I talk about lifestyle, a little bit of beauty, a little bit of fashion, a lot of Godpreneurship. I talk about the God Almighty all the time. I talk about a little bit of budgeting and a little bit of other things that we're going to be getting into here in the near future, like digital marketing, social media management, and all those type of things. So stick with me, ride with us, and excuse me, like, subscribe, and share. Listen, the freest, easiest, simplest way to show your girl love is to comment, like, subscribe, share. Stay in the know with us. Let us know what places you would want us to go and visit, because we're going to be going to different places, different regions, different countries here in Africa. Africa has so many different countries. I know in the future we'll be going to Singapore. I know we'll be going to the Philippines. I know, for sure in Africa, we'll be going to Senegal, we'll be going to Nigeria, we'll be going to Uganda, we'll be going to Kenya. I know we'll go to South Africa. I just don't know exactly when, but stay tuned. That's all I can tell you. So, I wanted to take this time really quickly. I'm sitting in the car because Bright is doing some editing work on some footage that they did over the weekend. So I'm using this air conditioned time to sit down and have the quick cocoa with you all. If you've been watching some of the previous videos, previous videos that I've recently posted, I've been telling you all on those videos that I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with you all about just the traveling ups and downs that happen. So basically what happened was that I ended up having to do my travel in 2 flights, which made it, well, it was like, yeah, it was 2 flights, but it ended up having like 3 different journeys. So I went from Texas to New York, one airport in New York to the other airport in New York, from New York to Cairo, Egypt, and then from Cairo, Egypt into Accra, Ghana. So altogether it took me 3 days to get into Ghana. And I know that that's not normally the way that you should do it. I would not advise anybody to do that unless you just, had to get in the situation that I got in. I had to move whenever God told me to move, and I had to take the flights that God told me to take. So it made me have like a 23-hour layover in New York because of the way I had to get the flights. So during the traveling time, so much happened, so much God things happen. So if you're not into the God thing, then you can skip past this part. But as for me, your girl Rain, I'm all about God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. That's what I'm about. As for me and my house, we're gonna serve God as God for us, right? So so many moments happened where God showed that he was there with me, that God was letting me know that, hey, this is what I need you to do. Keep your eyes on me, and I will make sure that you get to where you have to go. So when I got to Houston, my boss from my last contract, Miss Sedna, my girl, she took me out to eat, and it was like a bachelorette night or whatever. At this time, not many people knew about what my plans were. I wasn't even completely sure exactly what my plans were going to be, but I knew for the most part this is what God was telling me to do. It wasn't the normal thing to do, and I wouldn't advise anybody to just do it unless you know that God is telling you to do this, and God is in the details and not the devil. Okay, so she took me out and had a little bachelorette night or whatever, which you'll see some of that footage and stuff along the way if you go back and watch the previous videos. And then she brought me to my niece, which is where my sister was. So my niece's house is like not even 20-30 minutes from the airport. So my niece and my sister, they brought me to Bush Intercontinental Airport, and I stayed there for a few hours. I think I was there a few hours. By the time we got there and I got checked in and everything, I was there for maybe maybe 3. I don't even think it was 3 hours. It was like 2.5 hours. So we got ready to load the first plane in Houston, and when we got on the plane, as soon as we got on the plane, they were telling us that there had some issues with the plane. They needed to check the plane. So I'm like, look now, plane's been planing, all right? Like, we ain't got time for that. So we get off the plane and they check the plane, they fix the plane, they get everything going. So within about 45 minutes to an hour, we were reloading the plane. We took off and the flight was good. It was quick and simple. So I had to fly from Houston to LaGuardia in New York, and I had forgot just how far LaGuardia and JFK were from each other. So so much stuff happened on the way to the airport, on the way leaving from Beaumont. I had to leave like right then, and I wasn't really happy with the way that I had to leave, but I had to leave like that because that's the way God opened the door. So I ended up having to leave my G babies behind without giving them any notice. I had to leave from D house without having to give her any notice. It was just kind of like I literally had like 8.9 seconds to grab what I needed to grab and go to the storage, move things around, bring things to where I left my phone charger and I left my laptop charger. And I needed those things to survive the trip or whatever. But God was still in control. So, got to LaGuardia, and at this time my phone was in the red. It was going dead. But little did I know, I'm sitting down talking to Bright on the phone and checking in with my family, and they had these little circle flat charging pads in this little section where you can sit at. And I didn't realize that until I asked this lady, one of the airport workers, like, hey, I need to charge my phone. Is there any place here that you all have that's free to charge your phone? Because a lot of airports have either like a little kiosk that has different charger plugs and you can charge your phone or whatever. She was like, well, actually, if you put your phone right there in the little black thing, you have to move it around because they've been used a lot, but it should charge your phone. I said, okay, thank you. But also I need to know, how can I get from LaGuardia to JFK, free? Or how can I get there with, a little bit of money? Because I'm checking the Lyft right now. For some reason today, the Lyft is quite expensive. And she was like, well, it's easy. All you have to do is we have a route that you can take where you can catch the free airport bus to the subway, and you can take that subway to Jamaica Queens, the Jamaica Queens subway, and it can take you to where you can catch the air train from our side to the side where JFK is. It'll take you directly into the airport. I was like, so you mean tell me I gotta catch the city bus and some trains? And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I can do this. Because, New York is not a place that you play with, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're not from New York or you don't know what you're doing, you can get yourself into some trouble. And I just wasn't here for any of that. I already knew I had a long traveling schedule. So I'm like, I'm not here to try to get lost. I'm not here to try to get missing. None of that. I don't want to have to, break myself and fight nobody or none of that. So I was sitting there for a while. I was like, God, I need you to show me what I need to be doing. Like, show me what to do. What's my next steps? I don't want to make no steps without you. Da 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 da. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, forgive the long break, but I'm back, and it is storming here, baby. When I tell you the thunderstorm that came through, and we're here at my uncle's graphic design and photo shop. They're in there editing some footage. This is J Hill Multimedia Works. My Uncle Bisa runs it with some of his other people. This is where Bright learned how to do a lot of his graphic design and photography and things of that nature. So, yeah, we're here because, like I said, Bright was doing some editing, color grading and stuff on the photos that he took for the funeral this past weekend. So, yeah, what I was saying was, I had to take a bus from the airport And then from the airport, I had to go on 2 trains, subway trains. And when I got on the first subway train, I went the wrong direction, but I actually was going in the right direction at the same time, if that makes sense. So as I got on the right train, they told me how to get to where I needed to go. Then I went and got on I went to get on the air train, and as I was going to get on the air train, I wasn't able to pick up the Wi-Fi as strong as I needed to, so I needed to pay to go through the gate for the air train. Well, the young lady at the air bar, which you'll see it in one of the previous videos, was so kind to me. She was like an angel in disguise. She gave me the Wi-Fi code so that I could unlock my Chime card, which is where I had my money at, to pay to go through the gate to get to the air train. So I put the phone up to the thing to pay to go to the air train, went through like it was nothing. Come to find out, because of God's grace and mercy, that it didn't even take the money that it was supposed to take for me to get on the air train. So I actually had enough money to get me a large fry and a large Sprite from McDonald's. That was what I ate for the first night of the trip. So I get to JFK. When I get to JFK, my terminal was on the first floor. Was at Terminal 1, and that terminal was actually closing in like an hour and 30 minutes. So the gentleman that was watching over it, I don't know if he was a janitor or whatever, but he was watching over that particular terminal. He was like, go up to Terminal 4 and 5, and you'll be able to kind of pass the night up there because this one closes. So what I did was I went up to the food court, which on the next floor up, the second floor from the Terminal 1. And I sat down and I talked to Brighton. I ate my French fries and drank my Sprite. I sat there for a little while and, looked at some things on my tablet. But my tablet was starting to go dead and my phone started to go dead. But at the end of the food court, there was another little charging station. Again, God showed up. There was another little charging station where I could put my phone on there and charge my phone. And then I could also use the cord that I had to charge my laptop. So I was able to charge it up a little bit, enough to help me pass through the night or whatever. So then I went and I rode the air train for about 2 hours. I just rode around the airport from terminal to terminal for about 2 hours. And then I went to Terminal 5. And I was able to kind of find me a spot for about an hour and a half. By this time, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was able to find me a spot where I kind of put some chairs together and took a nap. But I couldn't really sleep because I kept feeling like somebody would come and try to take my luggage or try to, cause me some issues or whatever. But actually nothing happened. Everybody was kind of watching over everybody. People were kind of trying to find them places to kind of rest for the evening or whatever. So maybe about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I go into the washroom and I freshen myself up. I have, brought me some cleaning wipes and things like that to freshen myself up and change my clothes. So I kind of did that. That made me feel good. And the man had told me that I can come back to Terminal 1 between 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. And I can be able to sit there until it was time for my flight to leave. So what happened was I was able to get my MyPay off my Chime the next morning. Which I had money on my card, but it was in my MyPay and it was in my SpotMe. So I was able to, by 6 o'clock, I was able to get my MyPay. And right when I came back down to Terminal 1, it was about the time for Dunkin' Donuts in the food court to open. So I was able to get me a chai latte, and I was able to get me some egg croissants and I think 2 donuts or something like that. So that was what I had for my breakfast, and it kept me full until it was time for me to get ready to catch my flight. So then about 10 o'clock or so, they started doing the check-in for the 12 o'clock flight to Cairo. So I was able to get me a charger for my phone, and I was able to get all of my luggage and everything checked in. And then God was so good that I didn't even have to pay for my luggage. My luggage was already included into my ticket. So all I had to do was I put all of my stuff together, and I just kept my handbag and a few things like that. I didn't keep any of my big stuff. So I sent my what was supposed to be my carry-on. I sent my carry-on, and I sent my laptop and everything with it, and I was like praying that nothing happened to my laptop, but everything was good. So we waited about another 45 minutes to an hour, and they started boarding. So we started boarding. Everything went through. My visa was good. My passport was good. I was able to get my tickets, and I got my tickets from JFK to Cairo, and also my ticket from Cairo into Ghana. So this is my first international flight. So I was really excited about it. I was really, really tired because I hadn't had any sleep. I left straight from work that Friday on March 14th and went straight into the travel mode. So I took a quick nap, maybe an hour or two nap at my niece's house before I got to the airport in Houston. And then I took a quick, some quick little power naps at the airport. But I knew when I got on the 9-hour flight from JFK to Cairo that I was gonna sleep. And man, when you see that footage, that was the biggest airplane I had ever seen. It had 4 lanes. It had a front and a back. It was so nice and comfortable. I really have trouble when I'm traveling. Sometimes I swell, but I still swole up because it was just a long traveling time, and I forgot to get my compression stockings and stuff like that, but it was okay. I kept watching my legs and making sure that they weren't getting hot and things like that because I have a history of blood clots. So anyway, get on to Egypt Air. Egypt Air was an amazing, amazing experience for me. They treated me so well, so very well. I really enjoyed flying with them. So I get onto my first leg of the last leg of leaving America, and the first leg of getting into Africa. So I met this lovely Muslim mom and daughter, and the daughter, she didn't speak very much English, but her mom was like, hey, take care of her because she's in a seat next to you. And she said that she's been up all night. She hasn't had any sleep. So when we get on the plane, I get in my seat, I'm by the window, and the young lady's in the middle, and then we had another gentleman sitting next to us. And she was like, okay, you're safe, we're safe. Now you just fix yourself and you get you some rest. You go to sleep, and everything will be okay. By the time you wake up, hey, we'll be coming into Egypt. And I thought that was just so nice. I knew it was just a God thing that was happening. There's no way that you can explain that. And like I said, God's grace and mercy have been following me the whole trip. So, baby, when I tell you, you're going to see some clips of me fixing the pillow under my neck. And they gave us a cover. They gave us a pillow. They gave us headphones. They gave us the eye mask. And they even gave us socks. I didn't use the socks or the eye mask because I didn't need that. So I put my headphones on and I started watching a movie, and then I fixed myself, and me and her fixed she was leaning on me, I was leaning on her, and we was warm and comfortable, like we was watching over each other. She started watching her movie and eating her little snacks she had brought, and then they gave us few little snacks. So I started watching a movie, and then I dozed off and went to sleep. And she was like, no, you need to turn it off and you need to go to sleep. So I did. I went to sleep. So I think I woke up when they did the first little snacks and meal. It was probably like 4.5 hours into it. They brought us, I think, what they call breakfast. And it was a nice breakfast. I think it was like some eggs and stuff like that. It was some good little juice, and they offered you coffee or tea and some other stuff. It was really nice. Whatever, it was like potato and egg, and had a little biscuit, like a muffin like thing, and I really enjoyed that. So I woke up and I ate that, and then I went back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and by the time I woke up again, I think we were like an hour and a half out. We were like an hour and a half out. And I remember looking out the window and it was so dark. It was like really, really dark. And I remember looking at these stars, and all of a sudden I saw an angel fly on side of us. And I was like, oh God, I thank you. You know, like you're covering our flight. You know, like it was, you know, I didn't say anything to anybody. I just was watching the angel, and I was like, okay, God, I see you, and I thank you, and I'm grateful. I don't know who this is, so let me lock it up. Sorry, I see this dude back there. I don't know who he is, and he don't know me, and I don't want him trying to come in and try to take my phone. But anyway, so I saw the angel, and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. So then maybe that hour passed by, and the young lady, she said, hey, open the window. I said, open the window. I said, it's dark. She was like, no, the sun's about to come up. Open the window so that we can see the sunrise. I said, oh, the sun's gonna come up. She's like, yeah, open the window. So I told her, I said, well, it's open, but it's still dark right now. So on the footage, you can see how the skyline was just so beautiful. The lights over Egypt were just so beautiful. They were like a zillion stars in the sky. At the bottom was like a lake of lights. You can see it on my video, and it was just so beautiful to know, hey, I'm coming into Africa. So we get in there, and by the time we land, the sun has just started to come up. So it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is already like the sun is already rising. So by 5 o'clock we get there, like a little bit after 5 we get there. I get into the airport, and I come into the airport. Everything was just so smooth. Like I said, everything was so smooth. The landing was smooth. The flight was smooth. The food was good. Even the dinner that they gave us and the breakfast that they gave, it was really good. Like I like curry stuff. It was really nice. So the young lady, she was like, welcome to Egypt, and enjoy the rest of your trip. Thank you for, you know, like riding with me. And she let me take a picture of her Egyptian passport. So the picture you'll see on there that's her passport. So she left and went to go meet her mom, and then I went and I was talking to Bright, and I was walking into the airport and taking some video footage of it, and I was trying to get to my gate because it wasn't that long of a layover that I had in Cairo. So I didn't get to go out and like take pictures of Cairo and stuff like that. Only what I could get inside of the airport. So again, once I got into the airport, it's like I could just feel that God was with me the whole way. And I was getting excited at this point because I knew the next flight was going to be the flight to take me into Ghana, into Accra. So Bright was really anxious. He was really, really nervous. But I kept telling him, like, God had me every step of the way. And then the fact that I had my charger and stuff with me made him a little bit more comfortable. So I was telling him what time I was going to get to the airport and things of that nature. And I also told him that I'm probably going to sleep again, like on this last little leg, because I'm still feeling tired. So I did. Once we boarded another nice size airplane. Egypt Air has some lovely, excuse the weather, y'all, it's storming, has some lovely airplanes. So we got on that flight to come into Ghana, and the flight was wonderful. The service was wonderful. I ended up having just myself on that row, so I was really, really comfortable. Because it was a lot of, open seating and stuff like that. It was one young lady that was supposed to sit by me, but she ended up sitting behind me because it was a lot of open seating. So I ended up having the whole row to myself. So when we got into Kotoko International Airport, oh my goodness, it was God's grace again. So I was going to take my yellow fever shot in Kotoko Airport. Bright had already called ahead to see if it was okay for me to take it, and they had told us how much it was going to be and everything. So I get there, and the guy was like, do you have your yellow fever card? I said, no, sir. I was told that I could take it here. And he was like, okay, you're supposed to take it here. And I was like, yes, sir, I'm supposed to take it here. And he was like, why are you here? And I was like, I'm here to meet my fiance. I'm here to do some mission and ministry work and stuff like that. So it just so happened I'm on the phone with Bright. So Bright gets on the phone with him and they're speaking in Twi. So Twi is one of the native languages here in Ghana. So they're speaking in Twi. So the guy tells Bright, hey, I'm gonna take her to where she can take the shot or whatever. And Bright wanted to bring me the money to pay for the shot so that I wouldn't have to pay for it out of my money. And the guy was like, well, you can't come in, so you're gonna have to send it, Momo, which is a app that we use here to pay for things. So somebody had told Bright that he can come in and bring me the money, but this guy was like not letting him do that. So he sent me into the line, the regular line. He, instead of him taking me to go take the yellow fever shot around the corner, he sent me into the line. So when he sent me into the line, it was like God's grace again, because the police officers there, they were like, where you going? And I said, well, he told me to come here. I'm supposed to be going to take the yellow fever shot, but he told me to come here. And the man said, oh, you didn't take it? And I was like, no, sir. He told me to come here. I was going to go take it, and he told me to come here. He said, well, if he told you to come here, then don't worry about it. Like, giving me the signal like, hey, that's his mix-up, because he knew he was supposed to take you to go take it, but he didn't. So go ahead and go through and go to the immigration window. So I was like, are you sure I don't want to get into any, issue? This is my first time here, and, I have everything else. I just need to take the yellow fever shot. He was like, no, we're not going to do his job for him. You just go ahead and go through. If he told you to come over here, you go ahead. And the young lady officer was like, yeah, ma'am, just go ahead and go through. He told you to come over here. Come on in here. Let's go through there. So I went through, and I'm like, Lord, thank you. Because I know this is nothing but your grace and mercy that's covering me. So I get to the immigration window, and the police officer, she's a nice young lady. She asked for my passport and my visa. I show it to her. She asked me, what brought me into Ghana. And I told her that I was coming to meet, my fiance, and he's on the phone. And she said, well, you're going to have to call him back because you can't be on the phone. Right now, you're going through the immigration process. So I told him, well, let me call you back. Let me speak to the lady and do what I need to do. So she's like, well, how did you meet him? And I was like, I met him in a group for content creators and business people in America and here in Ghana in the diaspora. And she was like, how long have you known him? And I said, 3 months. And she said, and you're getting engaged? And I was like, yes, it's a God thing. She said, oh, it's a God thing? Oh, okay, well, girl, come on in here. If it's a God thing, I understand. Come on in here, enjoy your trip. Aquaba, welcome to Ghana, and go ahead and proceed to get your luggage. So I was like, that's it. She was like, yeah, go ahead, enjoy yourself, congratulations, and Aquaba. So Aquaba means welcome. When you come in, that's what they say. It's even on. You see it if you've seen other videos like this. You'll see it on my video, and somewhere around here you'll see the video and the picture. So I go to try to get my luggage. Now that luggage was the longest part of. I ain't gonna lie. That thing felt like it took me 2 days to get my luggage, and Bright kept saying, I see your luggage. I see your big one and I see your small one. He was like, they're coming. And I was like, I'm okay. I just want to make sure I get my luggage because, my laptop is in there. He's like, you put your laptop in the... I was like, yeah. I said, I see some that look like mine, but they're not mine. So eventually my luggage came, and you'll see me walking out with my luggage saying, I got my luggage. We made it. And I go out to go try to meet him. And as I'm going out to go meet him, they had another little checkpoint. But I was like, do I need to come through here? And that lady was like, girl, come through here. Come on in here. No, you don't need to stop right here. We don't need to check all your stuff. So that was God's grace again. So then I walk out the door. And as soon as I walk out the door, I can see him. I can see Bright. And he was so nervous. He had been waiting for me like for about 45 minutes, almost to an hour and a half for me to get my luggage. So he was getting nervous, and he had this little guy that do a video for him of us meeting each other because he knows I wanted to use it for the content and stuff like that. So yeah, we get outside and I get to hug him for the first time. I'm like, I'm finally safe. Like I finally made it here, and I'm fighting back my emotions, but I'm so happy. I'm laughing. He's laughing. I'm smiling. He's smiling. You know, and yeah, so it was worth a 3-day trip. It was such a learning experience. I can't imagine. I have seen so many of my sisters and my brothers who have come here, who have made the trip back home to Africa, and who have come to Ghana as part of the diaspora. And it was everything that they said it was going to be, and then some. And yeah, so I made it here. Bright picked me up in a rental. He took me to go. He took me to go check into the guest house. We stayed in the guest house. He had already picked the guest house and everything, so he took me to the guest house. I was able to freshen myself up, take a shower, change clothes, and then he took me to meet my in-laws. And the next video that's coming up is the video that's gonna have the in-laws. I mean, meeting my in-laws on it. And and I had my first Ghanaian dress fitting by our sister Selassie. She made my first two ever Ghanaian funeral dresses. She made those for me, handmade. And she's making some other stuff for me, and she's made some other things for me. And yeah, and then he brought me to meet my in-laws. So that was the Coco, y'all. I know it was a little long. I had to do this in 2 parts, but it was worth it. So I hope you all, if God is telling you to move and go somewhere different, go somewhere different. Even if it's just a visit, even if it's not because you're going to do ministry and mission, even if it's not because you're going to go meet the love of your life or your significant other. But maybe it's just you're going on a girls trip, or maybe you're going on a solo trip, because I do solo female traveling. But don't just stay stagnant in the place that you're born in. Don't just stay stuck in that city that you're living in. Go out and explore, live life. God gave us our life to enjoy it. God gave us our life to go and minister the good news. Like, you can live your life. You can minister to somebody by how you live your life, by how you let your light so shine amongst men. So yeah, you should try it. And if you ever want to come to Ghana, I'm going to be doing some how-tos on how to get your travel documents. I'm going to be doing some how-tos on how to get your passport, how to, plan your itinerary for your trip, because it's easier if you have an itinerary. It's easier if you have a plan. It's easier if you have a vision. It's easier if you're more prepared and not just flying by the seat of your pants. Trust me, I learned from experience. But yeah, you should step out of your comfort zone a little bit. You should come and visit. Come on home to Africa. Africa has so much wonderful things here in store that you wouldn't believe that they have. And I'm going to show you more of that as the Married to Ghana series goes on. And I'm going to show you business life here. I'm going to show you, Christianity here. I'm going to show you all aspects of being here in the diaspora, being here in Africa and in other countries as well. So thank you for staying here. If you've made it this far, please give me a big heart, a big smile, a big thumbs up, or whatever. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please put in a comment and tell me where you would like to see me go, or what you would like to hear me talk about. I love you all so much. Thank you for being a part of the Rain's World Rainbow Coalition. We have so much more in store, so much more, like my girl Nezzy Peppermint Press coming your way. So you know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl Rain. Checking people listen. Make sure you take God with you wherever you go. I know you can't really take God because he's already there, because he's omni like that, but make sure you take God wherever you go. And if you can't take him, maybe you need to ask some white folk come. Maybe you need to have several seats, or maybe you shouldn't go, say he did. We need to make sure we give each other a little more love, a little more love, and a little more love. If we do that, we can save and change our society and our culture. We can save and change our children and our community. We can save and change our world. We can make it great again. I gotta go, and I love y'all like a fat kid love cake. And you know, your girl Rain loves all the cake with buttercream icing on it. Say you did. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.